there are a few positions on each NFL team that you don't need a lot of, but you can't take them for granted. You have to make the right decision. And the Denver Broncos decided to release the veteran kicker, Brandon McManus, who has spent his whole career with the Denver Broncos, drafted in 2014. And no, I don't try to bring every released player to the Detroit Lions. When a player is released, big name or small, I try to figure out how could they relate to my team. And Brandon McManus is one of those players. Now, if you remember correctly, the Detroit Lions went through, 4 to 7? We went through a ton of kickers last season, all right? We had Dominic Eberle. We had people I can't even remember. And then we finally settled on Michael Badgley, okay? We also cut Riley Patterson in the preseason, and then he was picked up by the Jaguars and wind up being their kicker for the season. That was a bad decision, and that cost us, but we wind up getting Michael Badgley. So the question I have for you is Brandon McManus, is he worth the Detroit Lions looking into? Now, he is a free agent. He put on his Twitter account yesterday that he would be released by the Denver Broncos, and he has been. He's been with Denver his entire career since 2014. And we have not had a stable kicker since Matt Prater left a few years ago. So should the Detroit Lions look into Brandon McManus? I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't mind if they did. They can bring in a kicker for a kicking competition. Now, we did sign the dude from the XFL, John Parker Romo, and he could also have a possibility as well. But here's the thing. Usually, there's at least one kicker on the practice squad, just in case the starting kicker goes down. So, should the Detroit Lions look into signing Brandon McManus? We are going to take a look at Michael Badgley and Brandon McManus. I'll give you my thoughts as to what I think they should do, and you can leave yours in the comments below. Now, first, we're going to look at Brandon McManus again, drafted in 2014 by the Denver Broncos. The first thing I noticed, obviously, he's a kicker, so he shouldn't be facing too many injuries outside of maybe popping a hammy or something like that. He's only missed 2 games in his entire career. Spent his whole career with the Denver Broncos. I want to say he's going into his 9th season. He is 32 years old. Michael Badgley, on the other hand, is 27. Born in 1991, and it appears he was undrafted. He does not have a draft location up there. So, and before we go any further, let's look at Michael Badgley. Michael Badgley, 27, came out in 2018, spent the first 3 years with the Chargers, spent 2 years, the last 2 years he was bouncing around, Tennessee and Indianapolis in 2021, Chicago and Detroit in 2022. Now, before we go further, I'm going to show you something, and this is going to help make my decision. First thing I want to do is look at Brandon McManus. Brandon McManus, let's take the 2020, let's look at his range between, what sticks out to me is between 40 and 49, right? Michael Badgley last year, he missed a few critical kicks. One in particular was the miss against the Buffalo Bills on Thanksgiving. That could have tied the game, and we could have had a better chance to win that game, but he missed it. So Michael Badgley, there's a stat that it's not all about the long kicks, 50 plus, right? So the stat stops at like 50 plus. We know who has the record. Justin Tucker, Matt Prater held it before him. But 50 plus, that's one thing. But you have to be able to hit kicks between 40 and 49. And let's take a look at Michael Badgley and what he does 40 through 49, right? 2018, 5 for 5. 2019, 6 for 8. 2020, 8 for 13. 2021, he basically went 0 for 1 with Tennessee, and then he missed 1 in Indianapolis. Chicago, in his brief time there, I think he spent 4 games there, he made his kick. And here he missed 2, 8 for 10, okay? So this is between 40 and 49. Now, if we look at Brandon McManus is pretty solid. Been in the league much longer than Badgley by 4 years. He went 2 or 3 in 2014, 5 and 8, 7 and 9, 4 and 6. But look at this. In 2018, Make sure I'm in the right one. He was perfect between 40 and 49. He missed 2 in 2019 between 40 and 49. I don't know if any of these were blocked. In 2020, 2021, and 2022, the dude has not missed between 40 and 49. And that is huge because those are the kicks that can make the difference between a win and a loss. Those kicks in that sweet spot of 40 to 49. So would I be opposed to this? I would not. It's not that I want to sign every guy who's cut, big name or small. It is I'm thinking about how they can help my team. And McManus is 32 years old. You don't have to be young to be a good kicker. We saw Morton Anderson. I think it was Gary Anderson. We saw older Jason Hansen. Jason Hansen was probably in his prime at 32 years old, right? So for me, I wouldn't be mad if Brandon McManus came in for a kicking competition, and then you reward the best, may the best man win. That's it. So that's what it's going to come down to. I like Michael Badgley. I'm glad we decided to keep him when we had the chance. And outside of a few critical missed kicks, I mean, he was pretty solid for us when it came to the NFL season, especially what we've been through. Missing, we had the worst, but that was on the Lions. They let Riley Patterson go, right? So this would be something that I'm not opposed to. It's a kicker. He's not going to cost a bunch. He's probably going to have a very hefty market because he's not a bad kicker. And like I said, you want kickers to be able to hit that thing between 40 and 49. That's where they got to be money. The 50-plus, those are tough because you got to get kind of a lower trajectory in order to travel that far. But between 49 and 40 is where you need to show your worth. You know, it's the kicks that you should make that you need to make. So let me know in the comments below, would you be opposed to the Lions bringing in Brandon McManus as as part of a kicking competition? Right now, we would have to drop somebody. We're going to drop somebody and many others anyway. So I would not be opposed to that if they decided to do that, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.